Hello everyone, welcome to another inspiring story. Get ready to witness Charlotte's awakening. Charlotte checked the time on her phone once again. There was still 2 hours left until the end of her workday when a message from her husband arrived. Dinner at 7 p.m. Richard Hayes and Diana are coming. Don't be late. She sighed deeply and put down the unfinished report. Once again, Ethan's business partners. Once again, endless conversations about investments and ventures. Once again, she would remain silent in a corner of the table, forcing a smile. In 10 years of marriage, nights like these had become routine. I need to go to the grocery store, she mumbled to herself. Fruits, wine, fresh greens for the salad. At 37, Charlotte felt more like a housekeeper than the wife of a successful businessman. No children, no career, no interests of her own, just an endless sequence of household chores and social dinners. Charlotte got a minute. Her colleague, Olivia, appeared at the office door. Shall we grab coffee after work? It's been a while since we talked. Sorry, I can't. My husband is hosting some important guests. I have to prepare everything, she replied automatically. Oh, I see. As always, husband, house, kitchen, ... Oh, honey. Suddenly, her phone vibrated again. This time, it was her sister, Amelia. Charlotte, are you sitting down? The voice sounded strangely serious. What happened? Grandma is gone, just like that. Charlotte felt her whole body turn cold. The last time she saw her grandmother, Grandma Evelyn, was over a year and a half ago, when she visited her in Harmony Valley for New Year's. She had promised to return that summer, when she managed to ask, swallowing hard. Last night, she passed away in her sleep. The funeral is the day after tomorrow. Amelia paused, and will need to go to the notary's office next week. Grandma left a will. The notary's office was packed. Besides Charlotte and Amelia, their husbands were there, along with a lawyer hired by her sister. Amelia, as always impeccable, tapped her long fingernails on the table. Her husband, Marcello, flipped through papers with the air of an executive. Let's get this over with, Amelia said impatiently. I have an important meeting in an hour. The notary, Mr. Arthur Davis, cleared his throat and adjusted his glasses. According to the last will of Ms. Evelyn Ross, her assets will be divided as follows. The 3-bedroom apartment, located in downtown Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills, goes to her granddaughter, Amelia Ross. The country house at Rancho Serenity, with the annexed land, goes to her granddaughter, Charlotte Davies. At that very moment, Charlotte felt her husband Ethan tense up beside her. He was already making plans for Grandma's apartment. He wanted to open a new company office there. Excuse me, there must be a mistake, said Amelia's lawyer, Dr. Michael Green, adjusting his tie. The value of the assets is completely unequal. The apartment is worth at least $2 million, while the country house ... There is no mistake, the notary replied calmly. The deceased's will was clearly and objectively recorded. Amelia smiled victoriously. Well, sis, once again you got the short end of the stick. But then again, right? It's always been like this. You live in the shadows, always quiet, satisfied with what's left over. Amelia, stop it. Charlotte mumbled. Stop what? I'm just telling the truth. You couldn't even give your husband a child. But on second thought, maybe it's better that way. On the way home, Charlotte and Ethan didn't exchange a word. It wasn't until they reached the apartment building door that he exploded. You failed again. You can't even inherit anything decent. A shack at the end of the world. Is that what you have to offer? Ethan, I shut up. I'm tired of being married to a useless woman. Pack your things and get out. Go to your shack. That's where you deserve to be. And don't you dare call me. But where do I go? Tears streamed down her face. Your problem? I want you gone from here by tomorrow. That night, for the first time in 10 years, Charlotte slept on the living room sofa. In the morning, as soon as Ethan left for work, she began packing her bags. Inside, everything felt hollow, an emptiness just like the old house that was now hers. An old bus dropped her off at the only stop in the small town of Harmony Valley. Charlotte looked round. The town seemed abandoned. Only an old tree by the roadside swayed its branches as if recognizing an old friend. It was about a 20-minute walk to Grandma's house. With each step, her suitcase seemed heavier, her heart tighter, until she spotted the crooked, rusty gate. The weeds in the yard were waist-high. The once well-tended vegetable gardens were covered in thistles. My God, Charlotte murmured, seeing the state of the house. The paint on the windows was peeling, the porch all rotted. She remembered that house as being full of life, smelling of herbs and homemade bread. Charlotte, you really came, said a cheerful voice. It was a chubby old lady in a colorful apron, running from the yard next door. Aunt Susan, Charlotte smiled, recognizing Grandma's friend. As soon as I heard the bus arrive, I figured it was you. We were waiting for you. You finally arrived. The two hugged. Aunt Susan smelled of fresh bread and green herbs, just like Grandma Evelyn used to. Shall we go to my house for some tea? She invited. In your yard. Now, she hesitated. It's a bit messy. It's been a while. While having tea and cake, Aunt Susan began to tell her. Grandma Evelyn, God rest her soul, worked with herbs until the very end. People from all over the region would come to her. One wanted an infusion, another a stronger tea. She never said no to anyone. But when she fell ill, she weakened quickly. It was only about 3 months. Why didn't anyone tell me? Charlotte asked bitterly. She was the one who asked, the aunt replied. Don't bother, Charlotte, she used to say. She already has too many worries. Later, when Charlotte finally plucked up the courage to enter the house, she was surprised. Everything was clean, as if someone had been there recently. It was Chloe, the girl next door, Aunt Susan explained. She looked after your grandma at the end. She still comes, dusts, opens the windows. In Grandma's room, everything was as it used to be. Herbs hanging from the ceiling, the antique dressing table, the craft chest. On the table, a pile of yellowed letters. The top one began, My dearest granddaughter, by the time you read this, I will no longer be here. Forgive me for not calling you to say goodbye. I didn't want to be a burden to you. You've already suffered so much in this life. Now, I need to tell you the truth. The apartment in Los Angeles belonged to my first husband, Mr. Benedict. His daughter from his first marriage is your sister Amelia's mother. I raised the girl as if she were my own, but she never forgave her father for remarrying, and the granddaughter inherited her mother's temper. I know I hurt you by leaving you only the country house, but my soul, my strength, is here. Every herb, every fruit tree has my hands marked on it. Here I was truly happy. In the cellar, you'll find jars of herbs I prepared. That's your inheritance. And in the chest, there are notebooks with recipes. Don't rush to throw them away. Take a look. Maybe this knowledge will also serve you. I love you, my girl. With love, your grandma. Charlotte sat on the old bed, clutching the letter to her chest. Outside, the apple trees her grandmother had planted swayed in the wind. The air was perfumed with mint and lemon balm. And then she managed to settle down. Aunt Susan appeared at the door. "Do you need anything? I really want you to feel good here. This is a welcoming place, you see. Don't leave yet. Stay a little longer. Give it a chance," she said tenderly. "Thank you," Charlotte smiled through tears. "I think I'll stay." "That's right," the neighbor replied with joy. "The house is good, strong. It just needs some repairs, and soon you'll be living well. We'll help with whatever we can, you see. Just don't lose hope." That night, for the first time in a long time, Charlotte slept peacefully. She dreamed of the blooming garden, the smell of herbs, and her grandmother's smile. The next morning, a soft knock on the door woke her. It was a slender girl with a blonde braid and huge grey eyes. Asterisk, "Good morning. I'm Chloe," the girl said softly and melodiously. "May I come in?" Asterisk, "Of course. Aunt Susan told me about you," Charlotte replied, smiling as she watched the visitor. Chloe entered timidly and stopped in front of the old cabinet. "This is where Grandma used to dry the herbs. She'd put them on. Newspaper, mint, oregano, St. John's wort. I helped separate them." "Did you come here often?" Charlotte asked, taking cups from the cabinet. "Every day after school, she would serve me tea, tell me stories." The girl hesitated. "When she got sick, I tried to spend more time here. I didn't want to leave her alone." Charlotte looked at her with a mixture of sadness and jealousy. She always thought she was the favorite grandchild, and now she discovered that in the last few months, it was that simple girl who had stayed close to her grandmother. "Sit here. Tell me more about her. How was she lately?" Chloe sat on the edge of the chair and smoothed her skirt. "She talked a lot about you, showed your photos, especially the one where you're little, with braids. She'd say, 'My little Charlotte was so sweet, so sensitive. She kept everything in her heart.'" The girl looked at Charlotte a bit awkwardly. "I was thinking, maybe you'd like help with the herbs. Grandma taught me so much. It would be a shame if all that was lost." "Do you really want to help?" Charlotte asked, looking into her eyes. "It's work. It takes time." "Yes, I do," Chloe replied, her voice animated for the first time. "Grandma used to say that herbs are like people. They need care, love. I can show you what she taught me, if you want, of course." Charlotte smiled, looking at those sincere grey eyes. "You know, I have a feeling Grandma arranged all this for us to meet. Let's try together." That's how their friendship began. Every day, Chloe would go there after school, and together they organized Grandma's notebooks, separated the herbs, and tended the garden. "Look, this is oregano," the girl explained, pointing to a small bush. "Grandma used to say it's not just for tea, but it also gives energy. And here's St. John's wort, which is good for 1,000 things," she added. Little by little, Charlotte discovered that she enjoyed it. She learned the names of all the herbs in the garden, began to recognize them by their smell, by their appearance. "How about we try making some tea?" Chloe suggested one time. "I have a recipe from Grandma called Summer Morning." It was 7 herbs picked in a special way. The first tasting was at Aunt Susan's house. The neighbors gathered, bringing cakes, pies, and jellies. "My goodness, just like Grandma Evelyn's tea," exclaimed Mrs. Nina, moved. "Same aroma, same strength. Can I buy a little jar of this tea?" asked a young local school teacher. "I would definitely buy it." That same night, the girl showed up with a laptop. "Aunt Charlotte, what if we created a blog? It's super trendy now." "Oh, we can talk about herbs," post Grandma's recipes. A blog, Chloe. I don't understand any of that. I'll help you. I took a social media course at school. We just need to think of a nice name. And so the blog, Evelyn's Herbs, was born. The first photo, a bouquet of thyme on the old window, got a flood of likes. By the end of summer, the garden was transformed. Organized flower beds, a charming tea area, a space for drying herbs. Inside the house, Charlotte set up a small room just for packaging and storing the teas. You know, Charlotte said one day, moved, I never imagined I'd get involved in this. But now I wake up and I feel truly alive. That's wonderful, Chloe replied. The first big order came out of nowhere. The owner of a natural food store in Santa Monica wanted a shipment of teas. It just needs beautiful packaging, she said. That tells a story. Charlotte and Chloe spent a week thinking about the design. Old photos of Grandma, dried flowers, craft paper, fabric ribbons. Thank you for this magical tea. The first customer wrote on the blog, I'm taking the insomnia blend and sleeping like a baby. By the time autumn arrived, the blog already had over 1,000 followers. People from all over the country commented, asked for tips, shared stories. Grandma used to say that herbs are alive, Chloe said while helping to pack another batch of teas. We have to talk to them, thank them. Then they give us all their strength. One night, while flipping through Grandma's old notebooks, Charlotte found a note. The secret of our work is the love for the herbs, for the people, for the earth. Without love, nothing flourishes. You know, Charlotte said to her partner, I think I understood why Grandma left me this house in particular. It was here that I found myself. She knew, she felt it would be this way. Outside, the renovated garden whispered with the wind. On the table, cups steamed with herbal tea, and her phone vibrated non-stop with notifications for new orders. 6 months passed. It was late afternoon when someone knocked on the door. Charlotte stepped away from her laptop, went to answer, and came face to face with Ethan. As always, he was impeccable. Expensive suit, confident posture, designer accessories. But his gaze had changed. It was more evaluating. Cha, he said with that typical successful person smile. May I come in? Charlotte just stepped aside to let him pass. Ethan entered and observed the surroundings carefully. You did well, surprisingly, to be honest. It wasn't how I imagined this little house, but it's cozy, comfortable. It surprised me. I confess I've been following your project on social media. Interesting. It's growing. You finally became someone. Other than a housewife. Why did you come? Charlotte asked calmly. You know, I've rethought a lot about us. Let's say you passed a great test with flying colors, and now you truly deserve to be my wife. A strong, independent, successful woman. We could form an unbeatable team. I can help you take this business to another level. I can open important doors for you. The woman let out a sarcastic smile. Ah, I see. When I was nobody, you kicked me out of the house. But now that I've turned things around, you've decided I'm worthy of you. Let's be fair. Back then you were, shall we say, not very ambitious. He grimaced, trying to find the right words. Now you've grown, become interesting. I'm proud of you, truly. Ethan, do you really think you can just come back and start over as if nothing happened? And why not? I have contacts, money, experience. Think about the opportunities you're wasting. No, she replied firmly. I am no longer the woman you could control, and that has nothing to do with success or money. She took a deep breath. I simply don't love you anymore. And worse, I don't respect you. What? Ethan's face contorted in indignation. You're rejecting me? Me? Do you realize what you're turning down? Yes, I do. I'm turning down a man who only values others for what they have or can offer. That kind of life doesn't suit me. Get out, Ethan, and don't come back. This has no future. There's only one thing we still need to resolve: the divorce. I'll take care of it soon. Now, get out of my sight. She had barely recovered from her ex-husband's visit, and a week later, Amelia showed up in the town. Little sis, congratulations. Look at you, you've bounced back. I've been following your blog. I'm impressed. Amelia, I'm very busy. Tell me what you want and leave, and why the bad mood. We're family, aren't we? Okay, we fought in the past, but it's nonsense. Forget about it. I was thinking, what if we became partners? I have contacts. I can open doors. Imagine a chain of stores in Los Angeles. You in charge and me picking weeds. Charlotte interrupted sternly. No thank you. I'm fine here. Then stay in your weeds. Her sister snarled, already irritated. Just don't come crying later when you go broke. Country businesswoman, can you believe it? That night, Charlotte told everything to Chloe, her assistant and friend. The girl listened attentively and excitedly suggested, what if we opened a tea house right here? The porch is big. We can put tables, serve teas, hold workshops. Do you think it would work? Of course. In the middle of the year, I finish high school, and I don't even want to go to college. I want to work with you. You've become like an older sister to me. Charlotte smiled and hugged her tight. And you're like a little sister to me. And you know what? It's a wonderful idea. Let's do it. In the spring, Grandma Evelyn's tea house welcomed its first customers. Antique furniture, lace tablecloths, dried herbs in beautiful jars. The atmosphere was pure coziness and affection. The small online shop turned into a real business. Chloe handled everything with ease, as if she were born for it. Every post touched the followers. Every customer felt unique. Orders came from all over the country, from Owapoke to Trey. And a short while ago, the first order was sent to Prague. Charlotte was in the garden, distracted, running her fingers through the clover stems. She remembered her grandmother saying while planting, "Clover is stubborn, it's resilient, just like our family. You can try to pull it out, it always grows back." Ms. Charlotte. Chloe's voice pulled her from her thoughts. The girl waved the tablet in the air like a trophy. They invited us to a festival in San Francisco, big, international. Looking at the young woman's illuminated face, Charlotte had a deep certainty. That old house in the middle of nowhere wasn't just a roof. It was a springboard. Grandma knew, she always knew that there, among fragrant herbs and ancient apple trees, her granddaughter would find her true path. She hadn't just left a house. She had left purpose, work, joy, and Chloe, the little sister. Charlotte never had. The wind swayed the apple tree branches, bees buzzed in the grass, and cheerful voices came from the porch. Charlotte inhaled deeply the aroma of the herbs and whispered, "Thank you, Grandma, for everything." Now tell me, do you think the true value of an inheritance lies in money or in the secrets it holds? What would you do if you discovered that your whole life was about to change because of a simple old notebook? Write here in the comments from 0 to 10 what your rating for this story is. I'd love to know if you liked the video. Click like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss any exciting stories we post daily here on the channel. a kiss, and see you soon.